Hi there. So, we're talking about somatic therapy. We are looking at ways to link the emotions that we feel, that we often sort of link to thoughts, in with our body, recognizing where we feel these emotions in our body, honoring that, and regulating to a calm, peaceful uh, state by breathing, moving the body. And as I said, honoring the emotion and moving the energy through. This one's a little bit different because we're not sort of looking at an emotion that we need to regulate as such, but I've thrown this one in here because this is what we're looking to bring ourselves back to. So just talking about calm in a Zen state, just think about how that feels. And again, as I've talked about over and over again, it's being aware of how things feel in your body. What does it mean when you feel calm? What is actually going on for you? Where are your shoulders? Where's your neck? How's your jaw feeling? It doesn't hurt to just let your head and shoulders just move around a little bit. When we are looking for a calm, peaceful state in which to do meditation or relaxation, just be aware of how the head is sitting on the neck. The actual balance point is level with your ear holes. So if you imagine that my fingers could go through and touch in the middle, that would be the balance point where our head is pivoting on our neck. So just being aware of that. If you are stretching from one side over to the other, it's your ear is going towards the shoulder here, and it's just a really gentle stretch. You can gently rest your hand on your head. It's not pulling, not tugging, just a really gentle, and you feel the stretch up here. And to the other side. And remember, with all of these things, breathing. So what I wanted to talk about with calm, because what I talk about this one a lot with everyone that I work with, you may have heard me talking about tummy balloons. Tummy balloons are amazing. Please practice them every day. Even if it's just once, even if when you first get up in the morning, you've got a little sticky note on the wall that says, do a tummy balloon, do that, do that. So what it's about is when we're in an anxious state, even if we're not aware of it, we tend to breathe only up here in the chest. So if we had our hand on our tummy and our hand on our chest and we're breathing shallow, only this hand would be moving. And the one on our tummy would not be moving. So what we want to be practicing as much as possible is getting the breath down into the tummy. So I get people to think about a tummy balloon and imagine that you have a balloon in your tummy. Don't put a balloon in your tummy. And we're breathing in and out. You can imagine it as having a color. If there's a color that you like, a color you find relaxing and soothing, maybe violet or blue, green, those kind of colors are often quite soothing and relaxing for people to think about. So you can imagine that it's a soft toned balloon. And you imagine that that is just in this area here, sort of around your belly button. The balloon is in there, and as you breathe in, the intention is to blow up the balloon. And then as you breathe out, imagine that balloon is deflating in your belly. Very calming. It comes back to, that ancient survival brain that you may be aware of. If you've listened to any of my videos, you will have heard me talk about it previously, where we've got the ancient survival part of our brain that when something happens in our environment that makes us think that, there's danger, potential danger, then we get that adrenaline kick. We're going into survival mode, fight, flight, freeze, fawn. What are we going to do to keep ourselves safe? Okay. So once that's happened, once the adrenaline start pumping through our body, it takes about 15 minutes for it to clear away if there's no danger and if we bring ourselves back to a calm and regulated state. So we want to do that. We want to clear the adrenaline, unless, of course, there is, in fact, danger and you need to respond. But assuming there's not, assuming that you've been triggered by something that's perhaps brought up an old traumatic memory and you're having an adrenaline response, you're having a trauma response, and you need to regulate that. So that's what the belly balloon will help you to do, because when we breathe down deep into our tummy, when we fill up a tummy balloon, we are telling our nervous system, we are telling the survival part of our brain that we are safe. Brilliant life hack. It will help you to expand your window of tolerance so that you do not get triggered as easily, so that you have a longer period of time before, for instance, you find yourself reacting and becoming angry or upset or freezing or doing all of these. So tummy balloons are incredibly important. So we're talking about calm here today, and we're really talking about honoring the feeling of calm and just sinking into it, experiencing it, and being in that state. Tummy balloons are the easiest and most brilliant way to do this. You can 100% do it lying down. You can do it sitting up on a chair. If you sit on a chair, though, just make sure you're not hunched over. So feet flat on the floor, hands on the tummy. Remember where our head is sitting. Remember, we're pivoting here from the ears. So we don't want the chin pointing forward. We don't want the chin squished in. We just want it sitting neutral. Give yourself a little bit of a wriggle, get into position. And then just breathing deeply down into the belly, filling up the tummy balloon. Shoulders are relaxed. Good job. So you can do that standing up. You can do it lying down. You can do it sitting in a chair. Make sure you've got room. Expand that tummy balloon. Really good practice anytime, any day, and as often as you like. Beautiful. Good job. See ya.